Hello, greetings from Booneri. In today's topic, we will be seeing the history of the conjoined Hilton sisters. Twin sisters who were joined to each other when they were born. What was their tragic life story? And what problems did they have to face? Watch ahead. The twin sisters who were conjoined were born in 1908 in England at Brighton. Although each of them had their own organs, these two girls were conjoined at the hip and shared blood circulation. Of the two conjoined sisters, one was named Daisy and the other one was Violet. Right since their birth, their lives were filled with tragedies and sorrow. Let me share their story with you today. When these twin girls were born, their mother wasn't married then, so she thought that the birth of the girls like this was a divine punishment. Back in those days in the United Kingdom, children with birth defects were considered monsters. So, the mother of the girls, considering this as a divine judgment, sold her daughters to a woman named Mary Hilton. Rather than seeing these girls as a liability, Mary Hilton saw these girls as an opportunity and she hatched a plan to make money. What was that? Watch ahead. Who was Mary Hilton? She was the lady who had taken the girls. But Mary wasn't a lady of good character. In order to make money, she put up the girls, Daisy and Violet, for display in a pub where people would come to watch them for 2 pennies. This was demeaning to the girls. The sisters were mistreated and abused, as many of them would lift their clothes to see if they were really conjoined or not. That was so degrading and cruel. Mary forced the girls to perform and even bashed them up. If the girls retaliated, they would be beaten up with the belt and slapped. That was so much suffering for the little girls. Later on, Mary Hilton passed away, but her daughter Edith and son-in-law took charge of the girls. The couple again, as always, forced the girls to perform the violin and saxophone for several hours. With these Hilton sisters, Edith and her husband minted money. With all this torture, the girls grew up and even began working in movies. They worked even with Charlie Chaplin. At one point, they earned more than $5,000 a week. But sadly, they didn't get any of it as the couple snatched every bit of their hard-earned money. Their efforts were of no use to themselves. Finally, with court judgment, Daisy and Violet could get free from Edith and her husband. Was life normal for the girls after that? Watch ahead. Life for Daisy and Violet was just getting better, as they both had found their love of life. But it was very difficult, as many states declined legalization of their marriage, as they considered it immoral. And there was no such provision in the law to have a marriage wherein one of the mate was conjoined. Eventually, with all the struggles, both the girls who had their individual partners did get married to their respective boys, but at different times. After marriage, everything wasn't as planned, as their marriages weren't successful and didn't last long. As time passed by, twins Daisy and Violet struggled financially. Later, they decided to start a business and opened a hot dog stand, but that failed. Finally, they ended working in a grocery store as cashiers and kept working until later one day they didn't show up at work. The authorities went to their home to check if everything was okay or if they were in trouble. On reaching their house, the girls Daisy and Violet were found dead. Medical reports showed that Daisy died first and Violet a few days later, as she couldn't bear the loss of her conjoined twin. That was tragic. When they were born, the doctor had said that they would live only a few weeks and that's all they could have in their lifespan. But instead, in reality, the sisters lived on for 60 years together, sharing every moment of their sad and grim lives in each other's company and bonding for 60 long years. Truly, that's unique.